Hey everyone, how's it going? I want to talk about season 5 of From Here because the season 4 finale just aired. Season 4 is officially done, but I wanted to do a season 5 video on all the news that we've learned so far and talk about some of that stuff. I will be doing a season 5 video likely tomorrow as well because there's going to be some more interview stuff. But I know that they're probably going to get very specific with certain things from the finale and all that, but I really want to talk about more of like when season 5 is likely going to come out and then some of the storylines and some confirmations that we've gotten recently. So yeah, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get more from content like this. But let's talk about season 5 here. So season 5 is the last season. So in case you weren't aware, I feel like most people are aware of that, but in case you aren't, season 5 is going to be the very last season of From. And so it's definitely, as a fan of the show now, it's something that is going to be really fascinating. I think the show can really do an amazing thing and end the story in a really awesome way where this becomes one of the best shows to watch overall. I know there's a lot of frustration sometimes. There's mysteries and unanswered questions, but I would say with season 4, they definitely delivered on a lot of answers. I've been seeing a lot of complaints about the season overall and the finale. I personally don't really understand it. I know there are some small issues here and there, like people asking why certain things happened or why they didn't do something differently. For example, I thought Jade and Tabitha were going to escape through that door. Maybe that's still possible later based on where things ended. We'll have to wait and see. There are little things like that where I keep thinking, what about this? Or what about that? Then there are older mysteries involving Julie, Ethan, the Lake of Tears, and everything surrounding that storyline. But honestly, I think season 5 is finally going to explore all of those mysteries. Those storylines feel way too important to just ignore, so I'm really not worried about them. Now, one of the biggest updates I've been seeing online is about filming. Apparently, season 5 is expected to begin filming around July 6th. I could be wrong, but that's what has been reported. The planned filming schedule apparently runs until late November, which is actually really exciting. Last year, season 4 had a very similar production schedule. If I remember correctly, they started filming around early June, maybe about a month earlier than this year. Since season 4 premiered in April, if you compare that production schedule, it shows that the team can finish filming and still release the show fairly quickly. A lot of TV shows don't move that fast. For example, The Walking Dead often finishes filming months before release, yet fans sometimes have to wait nearly a year before new episodes arrive. From has actually done a really impressive job of keeping a fairly consistent release schedule. Even if I have a few details slightly wrong, everything I've seen suggests they're aiming for a similar timeline again. That makes me think season 5 could arrive sometime in the spring next year, or maybe even May if things are delayed slightly. Because of that, I think the rest of this year is going to be full of exciting updates. We'll probably get behind-the-scenes information, casting news, filming photos, and small teasers as production continues. And of course, I'll be following every update because there's going to be a lot to talk about. I also think we'll probably get our first teaser trailer toward the end of this year, even if it's just a short 30-second teaser. I could definitely see them releasing something around December or maybe even January 2027. From has always done a good job promoting the show, so I expect we'll start seeing marketing much earlier than people think. Now, one storyline I've seen receive a lot of criticism recently is Julie's storywalking ability. Every season there's usually one or two characters that end up getting criticized by fans, and this season Julie seems to be one of them. Interestingly, last season she was actually one of the most liked characters. This season that changed because she was really the only major character who continued keeping information to herself while everyone else finally started sharing what they knew. Many people expected her storywalking ability to become one of the biggest parts of the finale, but it really wasn't. Personally, I expected it to have a much bigger role in setting up season 5. The only obvious reason for Julie learning storywalking right now seems to be trying to save her father. Even then, she wasn't successful. However, I think season 5 is where everything changes. Once Julie realizes she actually understands how storywalking works, I think we'll finally start seeing her use it properly throughout the season. The creators have actually confirmed that Julie's storywalking will play a major role in Season 5. And honestly, that's great news. A lot of fans were disappointed because they expected much more this season, but looking back at the finale, there were simply too many storylines happening all at once. Everything involving Fatima, everything involving Sophia, the bottle tree, Jade and Tabitha inside the tunnels, the clinic scenes, the red lightning, Sophia taking the talismans. There were simply too many important moments competing for screen time. Because of that, I completely understand why Julie's storyline had to wait. If the finale had been one episode longer, maybe they could have explored it more. But cliffhangers exist for exactly this reason, to make people excited for the next season. And honestly, they answered far more questions than people give them credit for. They finally pulled out the tree. We now know the boy in white is clearly against the man in yellow. Fatima becoming one of the creatures finally paid off a storyline that had been building since Season 3. Those are huge developments. Another interesting thing the creators recently said is that many of the answers to the overall mystery have actually been hiding inside the very first episode of the series. That honestly makes me want to go back and watch episode 1 again. Now that we know everything that's happened across 4 seasons, it would be fascinating to see what clues were hiding in plain sight. The creators also confirmed they've always known exactly how the series ends. Apparently the ending hasn't changed since they first created the show. Only the smaller details and the journey toward that ending have evolved over time. To me, that's actually a really encouraging sign because it means they aren't making everything up as they go along. They've had a plan from the very beginning. Of course, I still have a few concerns. One reason is that the finale reminded me a little bit of Stranger Things. The red lightning, the atmosphere, and everything happening near the end gave me similar vibes. Hopefully From avoids the same mistakes. My biggest concern is simply how the final few episodes are handled. One thing that disappointed me with Stranger Things was that by the end, it felt like there weren't enough meaningful deaths. Almost everyone survived, and because of that, the stakes didn't feel as high as they should have. From has never really had that problem. This series has always been willing to kill important characters, and that's one reason why the danger always feels real. Still, going into Season 5, I do worry that if the final few episodes don't keep moving the story forward, people will become frustrated. Personally, I don't mind slower episodes as much as some viewers do. I actually enjoy character-focused episodes. But if we reach Episode 7 or Episode 8, and the story still isn't progressing toward answers, then I think I'll start getting concerned. That's only because I love this show so much. I want the ending to feel earned. I know I'm probably not going to agree with every single decision they make, and that's completely normal. Every fan has different expectations. Some people want Fatima to survive. Others think she has to die. Some people want everyone to escape Fromville. Others think the ending should stay tragic. Then there's the question of whether they'll explain every mystery or leave some things open to interpretation. Those are the kinds of decisions that will divide the audience no matter what the writers choose. For me, the biggest thing is that everything simply needs to make sense. As long as the characters' decisions feel believable and the ending fits the story they've been building for 5 seasons, I'll probably be satisfied. So when do I actually think Season 5 will release? Based on everything we've heard about production, I think sometime next year is almost guaranteed. If filming really begins this summer and finishes toward the end of the year, I could definitely see the series returning sometime in spring. If not spring, then summer seems very realistic. At the absolute latest, I think we'll probably see it around September or October. Honestly, September would actually be the perfect release month. Imagine watching the final season during Halloween season. That would fit the atmosphere of From perfectly. Either way, it doesn't look like fans will have to wait nearly as long as many other television series. Production seems ready to begin almost immediately, which means updates should start arriving very soon. We'll likely get casting news, filming photos, behind-the-scenes information, teaser trailers, and hopefully plenty of interviews from the cast and creators. There's going to be a lot to discuss over the coming months. I honestly can't believe Season 4 is already over. Now everything comes down to one final season. Can the writers answer every major mystery? Can the characters finally escape? What happens to Fatima? Can Julie's story walking change the future? Will the boy in white finally reveal everything? Those are the biggest questions heading into Season 5, and I honestly can't wait to see how this story ends. Anyways, definitely post all your thoughts down below. What are your predictions for Season 5? When do you think the final season will premiere? Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.